Go on. Get out of here. Go over to admin and tell them you're supposed to read letters and help in the package room. Sure. He had his composure back, or the crack-headed arrogance that served him as composure. He brushed his hair back from his forehead with his hands, soft and white and small, the hands of a girl in her early teens, you would have thought, and then approached the cell. Delacroix saw him, and he cringed back even farther on his bunk, gibbering in a mixture of English and stew-pot French. I ain't done with you, Pierre, he said, then jumped as one of Brutal's huge hands fell on his shoulder. Yes you are, Brutal said. Now go on. Get in the breeze. You don't scare me, you know, Percy said. Not a bit. His eyes shifted to me. Either of you? But we did. You could see that in his eyes as clear as day, and it made him even more dangerous. A guy like Percy doesn't even know himself what he means to do from minute to minute and second to second. What he did right then was turn away from us and go walking up the corridor in long, arrogant strides. He had shown the world what happened when scrawny, half-bald little Frenchman tried to cop his joint, by God, and he was leaving the field a victor. I went through my set speech, all about how we had the radio, make-believe ballroom and our gal Sunday, and how we'd treat him Jake if he did the same for us. That little homily was not what you'd call one of my great successes. He cried all the way through it, sitting huddled up at the foot of his bunk, as far from me as he could get without actually fading into the corner. He cringed every time I moved, and I don't think he heard one word in 6. Probably just as well. I don't think that particular homily made a whole lot of sense, anyway. 15 minutes later I was back at the desk, where a shaken-looking Brutus Howell was sitting and licking the tip of the pencil we kept with the visitor's book. Will you stop that before you poison yourself, for God's sake? I asked. Christ Almighty Jesus, he said, putting the pencil down. I never want to have another hurrah like that with a prisoner coming on the block. My daddy always used to say things come in threes, I said. Well, I hope your daddy was full of shit on that subject, Brutal said, but of course he wasn't. There was a squall when John Coffey came in, and a full-blown storm when Wild Bill joined us. It's funny, but things really do seem to come in threes. The story of our introduction to Wild Bill, how he came onto the mile trying to commit murder, is something I'll get to shortly, fair warning. What's this about Delacroix copping his joint? I asked. Brutal snorted. He was ankle-chained and old Percy was just pulling him too fast, that's all. He stumbled and started to fall as he got out of the stagecoach. He put his hands out same as anyone would when they start to fall, and one of them brushed the front of Percy's pants. It was a complete accident. Did Percy know that, do you think? I asked. Was he maybe using it as an excuse just because he felt like wailing on Delacroix a little bit? Showing him who bosses the shooting match around here? Brutal nodded slowly. Yeah. I think that was probably it. We have to watch him, then, I said, and ran my hands through my hair. As if the job wasn't hard enough. God, I hate this. I hate him. Me, too. And you want to know something else, Paul? I don't understand him. He's got connections, I understand that, all right, but why would he use them to get a job on the Green fucking Mile? Anywhere in the state pen, for that matter? Why not as a page in the state senate, or the guy who makes the lieutenant governor's appointments? Surely his people could have gotten him something better if he'd asked them, so why here? I shook my head. I didn't know. There were a lot of things I didn't know then. I suppose I was naive. 8.